powered by Riverside.
Here we go. Here we go. Shout out to DC for L, which is Dallas Cowboys for losers, I assume.
It's the fuck for me, because like
one more time. There we go. Oh, so wonderful.
It's that
took it for me. Mid-season form.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Good job, Trey Lance. We laughing at you.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the boy GQ and Boulevard, and we here for another great episode of Live from the Bench.
Live from the bench. And I won't even yell this episode.
If you're watching, thank you for watching. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you guys for subscribing. We're moving up and we're moving faster. It's hard for us to keep track. That's how fast we're moving. Anyway, today's episode, we're going to talk about an experience that I had today. I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to attend the Eagles practice live at the Lincoln Financial Field. It was electrifying. It was dynamic. The fans tore the roof off the Lincoln Financial Field. And if you know Lincoln Financial Field, you know that Lincoln Financial Field does not have a dome. But the roof was torn off that bitch. If it had one, it was gone. It's gone right now. We don't have one. It makes me so delighted to be an Eagles fan. Just getting to experience it. And, people, they don't like the Eagles fans. For whatever reason, they say that we're mean, we're toxic, blase, blase, blase.
Who says that? I'm fucking up. Who says that?
And the thing is, these people only say that because they're not Eagles fans. Like, only people that are not Eagles fans think that Eagles fans suck. And the thing is, we have toxic fans, just like everybody has toxic fans. Like, you have your good fans that show their love for their team passionately, and they don't like your other team. They don't like you because you're not their team. Mm-hmm. We don't like the Patriots. We don't like the Cowboys. Why? Because you're not the Eagles. I don't like you because you're not the Eagles. And the same thing goes for, like, anybody who's a Patriots fan. Like, 7 Super Bowls. Okay, sure. From a Patriots fan perspective, you're supportive. You love your team. You're going to shout out your 7 Super Bowls or your 6 Super Bowls. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're never going to shut up about that.
Yeah, but that's because you're a Patriots fan. You're not going to be mad about that. See? You understand? From your perspective, my perspective, you guys are shitty. From your perspective,
is that why the
shitty.
Cowboys never shut up?
Yeah, because from their perspective, they're not
1996 or 95 or whatever the hell that was.
But let's get back to it. So today, I got to see in practice. I got to see the introductions. I got to see Spadero fuck up everybody's name as he announced them coming through the tunnel. I got to see him completely fumble over people's names. I see him got mixed up.
Yeah, man.
So he did make a mistake. It was pretty funny. He actually called Lane Johnson Landon Dickerson. But when you actually go back and see that Lane Johnson was wearing Landon Dickerson's 69 jersey, and Landon Johnson was wearing Landon Dickerson was wearing Lane Johnson's jersey on the sideline. So it made sense for the mistake. So it was fun. I also got to see Spud say he yelled out Zach Bond's name. He introduced Zach Bond, and the stadium was deafening quiet. It was just so quiet that you'd think that the mics weren't working because they said Zach Bond. It went from Saquon Barkley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Zach Bond, crickets. C.J. Gardner-Johnson just was, and he was just, C.J. Gardner-Johnson went from the 50, he was flying. He was just running around, flying like this. He was feeling it. He was feeling the adoration from the fans. Then he got to Zach Bond and boo. Well, no, wait, Zach Bond, he got nothing. James Bradbury, booed. They booed James Bradbury.
Oh,
I felt bad.
Worthy of no cheer. Ain't no reason to celebrate him.
I felt horrible for him.
Wow.
I felt bad.
Himself. He brought
yes,
that.
I mean, he has the yips. I want him to recover because he's still under contract. So, I mean, you want the person under contract to still be able to perform for you, even if he's got the yips. You still want him. If he's here, you want him to be the best. So,
well, yeah.
So that's why I feel bad because it's like I don't want to keep shitting on the dude, and then that probably affects his game. But
he gotta make a play. He gotta make a couple plays to earn.
He does. He has to improve.
And ain't nobody saying he can't do it. Word is he made a good play. Yesterday in practice? So
yeah,
it's possible. We can still find hope in Bradbury, but
let's hope.
Yeah. A lot of people just ain't trying to yet. They still sore from last season. I don't blame them.
Yeah. So before I get into what I saw at the practice, there was an incident. It kind of tweeted about it. Tweeted to the Eagles from the company, from the LFTV page, because I felt like it was something that needed to come out of LFTV. Tweeted the Eagles. My daughter witnessed the fight, and her response to me after that fight was, "I'm never coming back." That sucks because we love the game. So what happened was, in the row right in front of me, there was a brother and two brothers, and then there was a grandfather, a son, the grandfather, a father, and the son and the grandson. They were sitting there, separate two brothers. They weren't related. They were just sitting next to each other. And then the father and the son got up to go get refreshments. They left the grandfather. The grandfather was sitting next to the two brothers. Mind you, they're not related. The two brothers were of Indian descent. The grandfather was a white man. And these two other gentlemen, a father and a son, was a completely separate group, came over and said, "Who's sitting there besides us?" The grandfather said, "My son and my grandson are sitting there." And the other father and son said, "Okay, we're sitting here. You don't get the reserved seats." The father and the son returned. The grandfather said, "These jokers try to steal your seats. They're being assholes." The dad said, "It's okay, Pop. We can go. We just leave." The grandfather got up, walked away. Now, this is where it gets juicy. The man of Indian descent that was sitting closer to the father and the son, he was of autistic nature, special needs young man. But he was an Eagles fan. So you put those two things together, you can see it gets quite dicey. So his words were, "You're an effing a-hole. You took their seats. I don't like you." And he said it in a sense of an autistic nature. The son responded to him and said, "You can't reserve seats." The young man of Indian descent said, "Do you want to fight?" It was fun. He said, "Do you want to fight? We can take it outside." At this point, I'm on the Indian guy's side. I'm on his side. So his brother sits a seat between them to try to calm it down. Respect him for that. But then his brother is like, nah. He reached past his brother and punched the son square in the chest. He stood up. The son stood up. His brother's in between them, trying to push them apart. He grabs a hold of the son, starts punching him. His brother's still in between them. He's punching. The dad it's finally like, hey, that's my son. The Indian kid, with his brother in between him, while he's grabbing the son's hair, punches the father. And at this point, I'm watching, and I hate this that I have to keep bringing up that he's autistic. I'm watching this autistic young man beat two young men, or beat a father and a son who stole someone's seats. He's beating up both of these people while his brother is trying to hold them back. Now, security gets here. The first thing security does is grab the Indian young man and basically jacks up the Indian young man. I made it my point to address that. Hey, this is Autism Awareness Day at the Lincoln Financial Field. You don't touch him that way. So the father and the son, I call them the Lincoln Financial colonizers because they stole those people's seat because they just assumed that no one was sitting there. They discovered those seats. So they told them their side of the story, that this guy just hit my son, but they didn't tell the whole story. Luckily, we have, that race of people who never mind their damn business. When something goes on, they got to go outside with the broom and sweep the lawn. I'm talking about black young ladies. Two black young ladies, they're like, no, that's not what happened. And they told the whole story accurately and truthfully. So they were still going to take the Indian young man and his brother. They were taking them out of the stadium while the father and the son stayed there until a nice young woman security guard came over and said, oh, y'all leaving too. So they all left. They were all kicked out. And 10 minutes later, the Indian and his brother came back to their seats.
Cool. Justice was served.
Justice was served that day. I love the Eagles fans because you have those assholes who take their privilege and try to take people's seats. They think they're Christopher Columbus.
This is what happens when the people stick together.
Yes, this is what happens when
just let people go guard because they think they're bigger than you, they better than you. Nope. You throw your elbow. You got your power too. Use that shit, people.
Yeah, because you wanted to be an asshole. Your son got
together
punched.
Strong.
Yeah, you can't be an asshole. You get yourself punched. Like, what you think was going to happen? Somebody was going to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was going to do something.
Cannot stand. I appreciate you, young ladies out there. You are forever friends of the bench. And the security, too. Y'all did the right thing. That is appreciated.
Yeah. So, now let's get back to what I noticed while I'm going to give you my notes because it's time for me to be an analyst. So, Britton Covey. Mm-hmm. I've been hearing talks about him impressing at Eagles camp.
Yeah, that's the word.
And Britton Covey was getting a lot of receiver 3 snaps. He was getting a lot of those snaps in the slot. And he was not letting me. I seen every pass that was thrown to Britton Covey that Britton Covey caught. He was making his catches and he was moving with the ball. Only thing about him, he's running with the ball as if he's expecting contact. Yeah.
Hey, you should, mostly. You're going to get hit out there. But, I mean...
I also got to see...
Wait, what do you mean he was running like he was going to get hit? Like he was... What do you mean? He was expecting... What do you mean he was running like he was expecting contact?
So he's running like this with the ball, like this. He's catching the ball and he's running. And the next person's like 10, 15 yards ahead of him. So he's running like he's expecting contact. That was the only bad thing I saw from Britton Covey. Other than that,
I mean, you can't reach full speed that way into any means.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, he's working on protecting the ball. More power to you.
Well, yeah, especially the drills that they had with Jamel Singleton. He's running around with the boxing gloves, and he's literally just punching the ball out of people's hands. He's just standing there punching the ball. It was just, it's very fun.
You gotta pay attention.
Yeah, it's just funny watching that stuff because you never really notice it, and I didn't notice it until Spudge And there's Jamel Singleton punching the ball out, practicing ball security or something like that. It was just funny. I noticed that. I noticed that you see there's a lot of different schemes that they're running with Singleton. There's a lot of motion that they're running too. Johnny Wilson's getting some play at both tight end and receiver.
Good. I like that.
I think he might have actually.
He was probably too small to play tight end, but whatever.
Yeah,
he can play tight end.
He's definitely getting some snaps at tight end. If I was to say someone was going to get cut right off of this practice, I'd say it'll probably be that receiver. Is it not Parrish? It's not Parrish. It doesn't matter. It's the former. He used to play for the Colts, number 80. But yeah, so basically it was
Paris Robinson or Paris. Is it Paris?
Paris Campbell.
Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll probably not be in a Philly Eagles uniform this season. But it was very
got a lot of receivers in camp, so
yeah. It was very impressive. To see Britton Covey step up, because he's not somebody you even put in the conversation normally. And
right.
He's like, you're going to talk about me. I like that. What I also saw was that Kenny Pickett.
Yes, you can.
He's just not putting the ball in the right spot. Like, he's reacting, but he's not putting the ball in the right spot. And I don't know, like, somebody's got to ask that question. Them gloves definitely got to be a problem. They got to be a hindrance or something. I don't know how he's throwing the ball with those gloves, but it's.
Well, that's an interesting take.
Yeah, I don't like the gloves. I don't like him throwing the ball with the gloves. There's got to be something wrong with that.
Could be onto something there. Definitely could be.
And then I saw a lot for the same with Tanner McKee, not putting the ball in the right spot, just missing. Not missing, but like just overthrowing or underthrowing, just throwing it out of position. Receivers have got to try to catch the ball or contort themselves. And when they were practicing and they were keeping score, the only time that the Eagles defense scored, they didn't score a touchdown. They scored when they got a stop. The only time there was a score was when the defense stopped them and it was when the second and third team was on offense. So I did see AJ Brown beat Quenya Mitchell for a deep beat. So he beat him for a deep ball. Goddard scored a touchdown on a fade, and Jalen Hurts ran for one.
Wow, nice. That's always a sight to see. No tush push, none of that.
I didn't see any tush push. They didn't do the tush push. But what I did see was Kai Becton starting at the right guard.
Nice.
So that's something I saw. Matt Hennessy was starting at the left guard because Dickerson's injured.
Right.
But I did not see Tyler Steen.
What did that cornerback battle look like?
So it was Quenya Mitchell on one side and Slay on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's different because it's been Ringo the past few days. I understand.
Ringo was back with the second teams.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper was on the sideline in sweatpants. I did not. Sidney Brown was also injured, so you saw a lot of Avonte Maddox and Bradbury's cycling in and out of safety.
Okay.
It
seems like a logical thing. Rotating safeties. They're going to have a lot of solid depth at the position, especially if you keep Bradbury around.
So. Yeah. So you're seeing a lot of rotation. That's what I saw at the linebacker position.
Mm-hmm.
The only solid piece thing that was locked down that was Devin White. You saw Zach Bond and you saw a lot. I saw Trotter was playing some.
I was going to ask about Trotter,
yeah.
Trotter. I don't give a crap about Zach Bond, and I'm like everybody else.
But Zach Bond was getting some first team snaps too. So it was just like there's like two linebackers. It looks like they're running like a 4-2-5 type scheme. Sometimes it's like a 3-2-6 or whatever. I don't know. But you see a lot of uh ooh, there's a lot of Devin White, and then you see a rotation of N'Kobe Dean, Trotter, and Zach Bond.
Okay.
Nothing
That's
concrete there.
Hmm.
And then
How much Dean did you see? How did he look?
he just looked normal. It didn't look like they were doing too much. It looked like Vic Fangio was yelling a lot. He was just not happy with what he was seeing. So
Yeah.
I want to see what happens when it's live, when they go live.
Right. So
Go ahead.
based on what you've seen, who's the second quarterback then?
Second quarterback,
Yeah.
it's likely going to be Pickett.
Yeah. As
It'll
I was
probably
saying,
be
it's,
Pickett.
it's McKee. You said he wasn't doing much, but is he doing enough to compete for the second job even?
Right now, no. I wouldn't say if I were to go by this live practice, I would say no.
Who's the slot guy?
At slot right now, from what I see, I'd say I would give it to Covey because I didn't see much from John Ross. Like I didn't see anything from him.
John Ross. I'm not hyped, excited.
Yeah, I didn't see anything from John Ross. I didn't see anything from Anaya Smith. So, yeah, I would give it to Covey. I'd say Covey is your guy.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, Covey's your guy. Yeah, and then at the cornerback position, it's just a lot of rotation. I think the DBs, they're going to be able to keep it fresh if they can keep a lot of those guys there. I see McCollum, McPherson, Goodrich was released. I see McCollum and McPherson. They're going to get their papers. They're going to be walking. But I think the rest of them you'll see a nice rotation with them picking up reps at different positions. But I think the defense is probably a strong spot for them. At tight end number 2, I think that's where you got to hope that Johnny Wilson's going to step up because
Calcaterra, nightmare him as the number 2 end.
Yeah, Calcaterra got a couple reps at number 2. He got some catches. I think he had 3 catches during the practice with the first team. So that was also a plus for him. He wasn't doing a lot, but he did break a nice one. Kenny Gainwell broke one. Will Shipley didn't do much, but I mean, when you have your backup, your second string quarterbacks in the back weren't doing much to be impressive. It's kind of what you get. You're not expecting much. But I do think that Will Shipley should slide in right well enough. He'll probably won't beat out Gainwell right off the bat, but I think later in the season you'll see that he starts to take those reps away from Gainwell as the season goes.
You still see Gainwell being a factor? I don't. I mean, I hope we see more Shipley straight out the gate.
Yeah, I only believe that Gainwell's going to be a factor because he probably has more of a relationship with Jalen than he does with Hurts. And I think that's with Jalen than he does with Shipley than Shipley does with Jalen. I think Gainwell's relationship and connection to Jalen is going to contribute more than that. But I think that as the season goes, you'll see Shipley and Jalen develop something as it goes. I think Will Shipley will end up taking those reps away from Gainwell. It's just a matter of what Gainwell is going to be able to make himself into. If he's going to be able to make himself into more of a because what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot more Saquon. He's going to eat up a lot of reps.
Yeah.
He's going to eat up a lot of reps, probably more than you're expecting him to, because he's such a versatile.
They're going to wear him down. He can't have too much tread left realistically.
Yeah, but I feel like, and that's where it's going to be like, who's going to be the guy that's actually going to contribute a lot more once you get that in. And I think it's going to be Shipley's going to be the one that runs away with it because he's like so dynamic. Gainwell is always in like the hot seat. Like he's always on the bubble.
Yeah.
Every season, he's always on the bubble. And I think it's going to take somebody like Will Shipley to be like, listen, I can do this, to pop that bubble. So,
pop that bubble. Hey,
yeah.
bubble, baby. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, go on.
Let me think what else I have. I was very confused in the beginning because Jake Elliott was getting his field goal snaps in, and I remember Lovato was wearing number 45. And I was like, who the hell is Long snapping the ball? I see 49. I'm like, who the hell is this? I had to go to Google. And I'm like, oh, he changed his number to give it to Devin White. He's 49 now. And it was just really starting like, did we get rid of Jack Lovato? But thank we didn't. We still have him. He didn't. He's not going. So
no, he's a locked in spot, almost guaranteed.
He's locked in, and I don't understand how I've seen some articles out there put Jack Lovato on the bubble, and I'm like, how is Jack Lovato on the bubble? Like he's not. There's no threat for Jack Lovato to lose that position. There's no threat for him. So
right.
I don't get it. Yeah, that's basically what, from my experience, from my take, that's what I got from the Grays.
Okay. Well, then I guess I will slide it forward to the next story on my plate, which is Xavier Worthy. After setting the record at the Combine for fastest 40, Madden had the audacity to give him a 98 speed rating. In what world does that make sense, GQ?
It doesn't make sense, but
he's running the fastest recorded at the Combine. Wouldn't that make him the fastest?
Yeah, it realistically, yes, it should, but Madden gets a lot of things wrong, so it's not surprising me that Madden would do that. Like, for a while, John Ross's speed was only a 96, and I'm like, that's John fucking Ross.
So that was ridiculous, too.
I remember they had Dante Hall's speed as like an 89. So, like, Madden gets a lot of things wrong. So
Madden must have been on something that day.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that they messed this up.
He's protesting Madden. He's boycotting the game.
Yeah.
He's silly. But I understand his reasoning. I truly do.
Yeah, they mess this stuff up a lot. They'll fix it. If they don't, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, that's just fix it, and that's blatant. That's blatant, though. Like that's blatant. There's no way that's not intentional because they have those numbers. They saw the same highlights we did, where that man did what he did and ran that 4.21. So it's like, no, they're being dicks about it, man. Whoever is scoring at man is just being a dick sporting good about it. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're just being pains in the asses because the person who gets that like that, if you're gonna give Tyreek Hill 100 speed or 99 speed, this guy should have 99 speed. He should, like, you gave. What was it, Devin Hester? Devin Hester had 100 speed.
Yes.
And
back when players could actually be rated 100.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Good times. I don't remember Devin Hester being that fast. I just thought he was just really athletic. I didn't think he was that fast, but be that as it may. I feel like Madden does do a lot of shit, and like I feel like they do it to piss us off. I think that's a lot of what, man, that's kind of their marketing campaign, to piss somebody off. You got to piss a player off so that player can endorse you without endorsing you. Because you got somebody like Xavier Worthy is like, oh, fuck your game. Guess what? That don't hurt Madden. That doesn't hurt Madden. That puts eyes on Madden. Like, oh, let me see. Let me go see what the ratings are now. And now everybody's looking at the Madden ratings. So I don't think he hurt the team. It's a sad truth because it's like, yeah, they fucked up, but that fuck up is going to be a benefit to us. So, I don't know what we can do to force Madden's hand because nothing that we
The only
plan
thing
to
you can do is not buy the games, and
it won't happen.
going to do that. They're like,
I think the reason why it can't happen is because we don't have an alternative.
right.
I think that's the reason why. Because like, no matter what happens, you're gonna end up like you could probably go like 3 months like, damn, I'm not buying Madden. 3 months in, and then you ain't got nothing else to play.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty good at holding out on Madden as long as I can, and barely. And when I do play it, I play it for maybe a month.
Yeah,
Get rid of, like, delete it, bring it back a couple months later, play it again for a couple weeks. I don't really rock with Madden. Like,
yeah.
average
It
NFL,
all depends on what I'm able to do, like what's going on.
you know, it's not just not a filling enough game. It's just
Right.
a time killer, and it's like a slow grinding time killer. It's like being on the clock anyway, just going through the motions of a game, going through the motions of the interface with the fucking free agency and the season. Yeah, it's mundane.
Yeah,
It's literally the no fun league playing Madden. If you're not playing another human, you're torturing yourself with Madden. That's basically that's how I feel about Madden. It's torture.
understood.
Hmm.
What
Right.
else you got? What
Yeah,
else you
I got this guy. Have you heard about this guy?
No, what is this?
Yusef Dchek. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, this guy won the silver medal in shooting at the Olympics. I mean, just look at the man. He had this competition that was basically
For the
loaded
first competition
up like
shot,
some
low.
anime killer or some shit. And he just shows up, rolled right out of bed,
Stop.
went out the door, hopped in his car, and went to the hotel. I mean, went to the Olympics and won silver medal. There's so much. Yeah, the man's a whole vibe into itself. But the word is, he took
Stop.
him shooting because he got in an argument with his ex-wife while they were going through a divorce. And he just did it so he would, have his reason to do something with his kids, basically, because his wife, he married a bitch. Not to be rude, but he just started doing it as something to do with his time and with his kid family, and ended up being so good at it, the man just won silver in shooting.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
How you become an Olympian? Just because you don't like your wife, your wife makes you an Olympian because you just hate her so much.
basically, yeah.
I hate you so much. I'm gonna go get me a medal.
Yeah. And apparently the word is, this is what this says, I read. After winning silver, Yusef stood emotionless on the Olympic podium and declared, Sharon, if you're watching this, I want my dog back. Sharon, give the man his damn dog back. You see what he can do. Okay, we don't need another Oscar Pistorius situation out here.
Right. I don't know if they know who that is.
Oh, well, he's the dude who shot his girlfriend while she was hiding in the bathroom from him. And yeah, no matter how you say that story, it sounds fucked up.
Then he didn't have legs too.
Yeah, that too. I guess the government took his shins. It was like Cotton Hill over there or something. Look at me. Look at my shins.
All right.
Yes, I'm going to hell. I know. All right. And my final thing is the WWE made a signing, and not just any signing. It's like if they had a draft of the actual talented young athletes out there, this would be a number one pick. The WWE has drafted Jacob Henry, Mark Henry's son, Oklahoma wrestler, shot putter, all-around weightlifting beast. He is his dad, just at half the age and twice the energy. I love it.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
It's beautiful, ain't it? You can see the potential. You can just see it. You can see it. You can smell it. That kid's going to be a star.
Huh. So it's like
Just Dad,
It's
look at
like-
that face. That's Mark Henry right there.
that is Mark Henry.
Pinch those cheeks.
Oh Jesus. So does this get Mark Henry back?
No. No, his job's to go just to stand around until he interviews people for a fight on AEW.
Yeah.
If he even still do that, I don't watch AEW. He's like, it's
No.
time for the main event. Does he still do that?
I have no idea. I don't watch.
AEW. Please let me know in the comments if he still do that. Don't make me go watch AEW for that reason. Don't do that to me. Speaking of, did you tell him what we're doing Saturday? You want to tell him the great news about Saturday?
This Saturday.
This
ladies
Saturday?
and gentlemen,
Huh?
Saturday.
Huh?
We will be live doing
Live?
a watch along, our monthly watch along,
Yes.
WWE SummerSlam. We'll be here with Heismanberg, aka Kyle Shanahan's,
Yes.
and another guy. I'm not sure what name we're going to be giving him. What name?
Be
he's
more
not
like
saying.
Wayne. That is his name. Be more like Wayne.
Okay, I guess it's Wayne, and yeah, and we may see. We may have another guest. I'm not sure if he's locked in yet, but we're working on it.
Hasn't responded yet. More than
and
welcome
we got-
to join us.
But we're looking to have a loaded cast. I may even try to see if we can get Romy Rome and Diesel on the show for a little while, but
Sure.
we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. So
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a
Yeah.
hell of a time. Y'all should definitely join us. I mean, we're going to be
Other than
watching
that-
the same thing anyway, so ain't no logical reason for you not to sit there with us instead of just sitting there with your hand in your pants and smoking a blunt, whatever the fuck. Do
and
that
getting
with
yelled
us.
at, and
Yeah,
getting yelled at.
yeah. Do that with us.
Yep.
Yeah. So get on down here Saturday, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock Eastern. If you're somewhere else, it's 7 o'clock Eastern time. don't know
YouTube,
what time
Twitter,
it
Facebook will be all of those sites. You be sure to find us, give us a like, let us know you're there. We will appreciate it. You will appreciate it too. God damn it.
And for those of you who stuck around,
Yes.
thank you very much. I hope you liked the video.
We
And if
appreciate
you're not
y'all.
subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I finished that to say we can't all be starters, but Boulevard can tell you better than anyone what exactly you can do.
Duh, you can hit the bench.